Welcome to Swaay.Health, where we explore the latest insights from the brightest minds in healthcare marketing. I'm Brittany Quemby. Innovation in the B2B world is difficult to get buy-in for and can come from the most unexpected places. Today, Colin and I are sitting down to talk about what's on the forefront for innovation and the tactics you can use to push it forward in your organization. Enjoy.
I'm excited to sit down with you, Brittany. This is going to be fun.
I mean, I'm so excited.
We're talking about innovation, which,
yes,
of course, is this topic for this month. But let me ask you this first question.
Okay.
What marketing innovation has captured your attention recently?
Well, I feel like this is going to be pretty cliche, but I'm going to say ChatGPT, just because it's one that I have used lately and have kind of tinkered with it on kind of an ongoing basis. So I'll go with ChatGPT. I was kind of skeptical in terms of what the capabilities of it was going to be. But then when I really dug into it, it's actually pretty good, as bad as that is to say. At first I was thinking it wasn't going to really spit out the content or the information that, we really needed. And it wasn't going to be as personal as I would like it to be. But when using it from a copywriting perspective or even just an idea generated perspective, it's actually really good.
I can't argue with you. I mean, ChatGPT, generative AI is definitely a huge innovation that everyone is talking about, including obviously folks in marketing. I agree with you. I was surprised at how good it was. Not that in my mind, I don't think it's good enough to actually write all the copy for you.
True.
Although I know some people are doing that.
Yeah.
So kudos to you for doing that. No, but for me, I use it for idea generation.
Right.
Like if I get stuck, if I'm like, hey, like it's a topic maybe I'm not as familiar with,
yeah,
I might just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, if you were to ask 10 questions or what are the top hot topics in this area, I just use that for inspiration. Right?
Agreed.
And I find it's almost like having a knowledgeable expert in your pocket. So I agree with you. I think that's a really innovative use of ChatGPT and tools like that. It's just for ideas.
For sure. Well, and I think when I put some stuff into it the other day, and I was thinking about it as an idea generating tool, I was thinking, so now long gone is writer's block, because if you need something and you are kind of up against that wall and you're trying to think through things, you can give it all the information that you want, and it'll spit out at least some ideas that you can take and run with and build upon.
Absolutely. I love it. For me, the one thing that's captured my attention is actually influencer marketing. I think this innovation, I mean, it's not that innovative anymore, but for us in healthcare, I think it is innovative because we have not yet adopted it. You don't hear stories yet of hospitals working with influencers, YouTube influencers. You don't hear about health IT companies going down the influencer road. So I think that's coming. I think in the next couple of years, I think we're going to see a rise of this form of marketing. And I think it's going to be pretty innovative. And I think for marketers, especially in the health IT space, this is going to be very innovative. I think it's going to be a kind of a little bit of a hard sell at the beginning, but I'm fascinated by this. And I've definitely been watching some of the influencers out there on some other genres, and to see what they're doing, how they approach and how they partner with companies. And I find it super fascinating.
I agree. And I think, it's such an untapped area, especially within our space, that there's so many things that I think within the healthcare industry and in our market that we could do and, even replicate or build upon or, steal. But, it is such an untapped market that I'm excited to see, what we as marketers can garner from what people are really doing and killing over in that space and bring it over to our side.
I mean, we know innovation's hard. Right? We've worked on the same team a few times. We know being innovative is very tough at a company, especially nowadays, given the economic environment and all the restrictions on people's budgets. If you were part of a marketing team right now, how would you keep the spirit of innovation alive?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough given kind of everything that's going on, economically and in the world and, all that kind of stuff. But I think what I do currently and what I would do, as a leader of a greater marketing team is just encourage teams to look outside the healthcare space and look at companies that are doing things really well, and how can we apply it back to our team. So, I set time aside each day to try and look at what companies are doing. What are they doing that's capturing my attention? If it's capturing mine, I'm sure it's going to capture other people's. So what are they doing that's really good in the space, and how can we, take that onto our team? So I really try to just look at some of those companies and use it as inspiration and bring it over.
Was it imitation is the greatest form of flattery,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Why not imitate someone that's doing something really successful in another industry and bring that into healthcare? For sure. I actually have the same kind of approach. My approach would be, I would literally look locally at what conferences or expos or events are happening in my own town.
Right.
And I would take my marketing team to it as long as that event was not in our industry.
Right.
So like going to like a confectionery show or going to like a cooking expo and just walking the show floor in an industry that we don't play in and just seeing what other people are doing and getting inspiration from that. We might see something or hear something like, wow, hey, that might work for us. And even if you don't find anything, then you can feel good about yourself going, wow, we're pretty innovative.
Right.
Like everyone else here is doing stuff that we did 5 years ago. We're like way ahead of the game. So I think either way you win. But to your point, I think you just got to get out of your head, right? Get out of your own forest and go check out some other ones. And I think that's a great source of innovation. I would also say, try some small experiments, right? Like, yeah, you don't have a lot of budget, so you probably can't go whole hog and try something brand new.
Right.
But you can experiment with it. Try something on a small scale. See if you can do something for free and just check out the results. And I think if you let your organization play a little bit with new technologies, with new approaches, then when you do have the budget again, when you do have the leeway to try new things, then you've already played with it a little bit, starting from scratch.
So we all know it's hard to get buy-in for a new marketing innovation strategy in a company. How have you pushed innovation forward? What tactics have worked for you?
Yeah, that's tough, right? Like getting buy-ins from executives for new marketing initiatives is really hard. Most executives are pretty resistant. They like to stick to the tried and true, right? That's why we're still all doing SEO and we're still all doing Google ads because they work, right? But imagine that first time when someone said, we should do Google advertising. People are like, what's that?
Yeah.
So yeah, my approach has always been, I think you got to experiment a little bit. I think having some data to back you up when you go to your executives is always helpful, right? If you're able to say to your sales leader or to your CEO, it's like, listen, I want to go with this strategy. And by the way, I've tried it a little bit. We did it for free, zero cost, so don't worry. But look at the results we got. They're pretty encouraging. And now if we just scaled this or we did it in this new way, we can really achieve even better results than what we did in this small experiment. So I think that's a really key first step to getting buy-in is try it first. Right. But then also if you're working at a company, especially at a health IT company, I would say you have to get the sales leader as your ally. Because without their buy-in, it's not happening. Yeah. Right? Or you're going to have a very difficult road. So to me, that's the other key to getting a marketing initiative moving forward is you got to get the buy-in from the sales leadership.
Yeah, and it's a great point because if you don't have them on your side, it's not going to happen, right? And I take a similar approach. I'm kind of the crowdsourcing consensus type of person. So even in my everyday life, if I'm making a big decision or a big life decision, I ask everybody I know. It may take a little bit longer, but I ask or I crowdsource and ask experts or other colleagues who have done the same thing. What has been your experience? What challenges did you see? What were some of the good points in these strategies, and really just gathering all that data, putting together, a collective plan, and then pushing that forward, or not pushing that forward, presenting that to an executive to say, here, this is what everybody else is saying and doing. This is why I think we should be going down this path as well.
I love it. And you're right. When you ask more people, you talk to more people, you'll get more opinions, more viewpoints. And if you're asking the question, they're giving you the answer, I'm going to bet that the executives are asking the same questions that you're asking in your head.
For sure.
Like, hey, is this going to work? Or, hey, what should I do to, if something goes wrong? I mean, these are all great questions to ask people. So it's smart to get, and then also it's a great way, especially if you're asking questions within your own company, it's a great way to socialize it as well, right? It's like, well, yeah, I remember you coming to talk to me about this idea. So yeah, I liked it. Got me thinking, and I'm behind it, right? Yeah. Like you can get actually buy-in just by asking questions of everyone. So that's a pretty smart method as well. For sure. But yeah, bottom line, we got to be innovative. Yes. And healthcare Lord knows we need it in healthcare, right?
Exactly.
So I like it. These are some pretty good ideas we've talked about today.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably a slew of other ones that we're not thinking about. So, I'm sure if other people will have some insight on what their, marketing innovation tactics are.
For sure. Well, we got to do this again. This has been fun.
Yeah, this is super fun. Thanks, Colin.
Thank you, Brittany.
I hope you enjoyed our chat today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and head over to Swaay.Health, that's Swaay with 2 A's, .health, for more great content like this. See you next time.